Hello everyone and welcome to the video from Math 8 Lesson 8. This is going to be about Chapter 6 Section 3, and this is the section in the book about discounts, markups, and then also tips and taxes. So this is on page 230 in the book. Now the reason I said and also tips and taxes here is the section in the book is actually only about discounts and markups, okay? But as we go through here, we'll see how a lot of these things actually work the same way. And I think what they were thinking is if you know how to do a markup, so do a percentage markup, then you'll know how to do a tip and you'll know how to do a tax because they pretty much work the same way. So that's why I've got this circled here. They don't necessarily talk about tips and taxes in the book, but if you know how to do markups, you definitely know how to do tips and taxes because they actually work the exact same way. And we'll see why here in just a second, okay? Now, discounts, markups, tips, and taxes, these are the most common ways we will use percents in real life, okay? So no matter who you are, what you do, if you've ever bought anything, you've dealt with one of these things, okay, or more, okay? So if you bought something, at least in the state of Virginia, where we all live, or even in West Virginia, you have taxes, okay? So in this case, sales tax. So anything you've ever bought at a gas station, grocery store, Walmart, wherever you've bought something, there is a percentage tax that is put onto your order, okay? Same thing with discounts. If you've ever bought something that's been on sale, usually when they do sales, they do a discount, a percent discount. So something like 50% off, 20% off, okay? So once again, that's when you have sales. And then, of course, tips. You'll see here, we'll define here in just a second, and then markups we'll define here in just a second, because those are a little bit more uncommon, but most everybody is familiar with discounts and taxes, okay? So as we go through here to define each one of these, a discount, okay, is a percent decrease. So referring back to the last section that we just did, a percent decrease, so notice decrease in capital letters here, in the original price of an item, okay? So the thing that you need to remember about a discount is when you have a discount, it actually decreases the price. And we'll see why that's important here in just a few minutes when we look at the first example, okay? A markup, on the other hand, is a percent increase in the price a store pays for an item, okay? And this is the one that's the most uncommon, a lot of people haven't heard of. Key thing here is mark up. So if you see the word up there, it means it's going to be an increase. So what that means is a store buys items so that they can put them on the shelf. So if you go to Walmart or Food City or whatever store you go to, if you go into the store, okay, all the stuff that's on their items, that store has had to buy. Now what ends up happening is the store buys these items. Since they buy so many of the items, they buy it at a discounted price, what we call a wholesale price. So what a store will do is they will mark up, okay? So they will increase the price by a certain percent in order to make a selling price. So that's what you actually pay for the item, okay? And once again, we'll get more into that, what a markup is. We'll see an example of that here in just a few minutes, okay? But once again, a markup is a percent increase. So what you need to focus on here is it actually increases the price, okay? Whatever it is that the item is, it increases the price. A tip, much like a markup, is a percent increase, but once again, this is not as uncommon as what a markup would be. So actually markups are very common because pretty much anything you buy at a store is marked up, okay? But a tip, this happens whenever you pay for a service, okay? So the most common place you see tips are in restaurants when you have a waiter or a waitress serving you food, okay? What that means is it is a percent increase in how much you pay after receiving a service. Okay, so once again, the most common thing there is a waiter or waitress. And what you normally do is you tip them, you give them an amount of money equal to a percent of what your bill was. Okay, so based on what the percent is, you basically give them a higher percent tip if they did a better job. Okay, but once again, it's measured by a percent. Okay, a percent increase, and works almost exactly the same as a markup. Whatever the price is of what you bought, you take a percent of that and you increase how much you spend. Okay, so once again, you pay for your meal, let's say if you're in a restaurant, and then the percentage of how much that meal cost, you give a certain percent of that to the waiter or waitress as a tip. Okay, so once again, that's after receiving a service, but it works exactly the same way as a markup, as you'll see here in just a few minutes. And taxes are the same exact way, except taxes are the most common thing that you probably have to deal with when you're buying and being a consumer. So what we call these are consumer problems. But in this case, a tax is once again a percent increase. So it's going to increase the amount you have to pay in the price you pay for an item. Okay, so the item will be listed for a certain price, and then you have to increase the amount you pay for the item by a certain percent. Okay, and that percent varies from place to place. In Virginia, it's 5.3. I know in other states it varies differently. Okay, so depending on where you are, the percent that your price will increase or the percent that your cost will increase is, depending on what the percent is of the tax. Okay, but it is a percent increase. And once again, focus on these increases and decreases. Okay, because that's going to be important in telling us how we're going to work these problems. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the first example. So, example 1, finding a sale price. Okay, so when you're finding a sale price, S-A-L-E, that usually indicates a sale, meaning there's going to be a discount. Okay, so if you look at this question, the original price of the shorts is $35. What is the sale price? Okay, so what we have to do is we have to look over here at the picture, okay, and my crudely drawn picture here of shorts, but you have a pair of shorts here, and there's a tag hanging off of them that says 25% off, okay? So that means you're going to get a discount of 25% on the shorts, which originally cost $35. So we have two different methods pretty much to solve any of these types of questions. And you'll see what I mean as we go forward, how the same method can be used to do discounts and taxes and tips and markups and all the different types here, okay? So in this case, we have a discount. So method 1 that I'm going to talk about throughout the video here, and you'll see what I mean when we go through the other examples, is you can find out how much the price, in this case, since it's a discount, you will find out how much the price will decrease and then subtract that amount, okay? So what we need to do here is we need to figure out, well, how much is the price going to decrease? Well, once again, we have a 25% off. That means we're going to have a decrease of 25%. Well, how much is a decrease of 25%? Well, 25% of what? We're going to decrease it by 25% of the original price, okay? So the question we need to answer here is what, if it would not glitch out when I tried to write, there we go. What is 25% of 35? Okay, or $35, I guess. I didn't do this in class, but if just to make it very clear, we're dealing with money here. So if you need to include the dollar sign, what is 25% of $35? Well, this looks very familiar to a question like we did in section 1, where we have the part is a percentage of the whole. So we're looking for the part of the whole price of $35, which is 25%. So we can use our old trusty friend, the percent equation or the percent formula, And we can plug in just like we did in section 1. So A is what we're looking for. So A is equal to 25%, which is 0.25, times the whole price of the shorts, which is $35. And just so you don't get confused here, I'm just going to leave the dollar sign off, and I'll do that throughout the rest of the thing here. So when I'm talking about the 35 here, it's $35. So when we figure out what A is, 0.25 times 35, well, once again, this is where you might need a calculator. So 1/4 or 25% of $35 is 8.75. But since we are dealing with money, that means that is $8.75. Now, the way I asked this in class is, well, are we done? Well, does it make sense for if we had this much of a discount, are we only going to pay $8.75 for the shorts? Well, no, that's way more of a discount than 25% if that was the price. This right here is telling us, okay, this tells us how much the price will decrease. Okay, so once we get to this point in the question, we have $8.75. That's how much the $35 price will increase. So we have to go over here and subtract. So we have to say $35 minus $8.75. Well, how much is that? Well, once again, if you need to double check yourself on a calculator, this should be fairly easy though, but this is going to be $26.25. Okay, which let me fix, kind of glitches every time it tries to save my progress there. So there we go. And now we are done. What is the sale price? That means the shorts are on sale for $26.25. But once again, look at what I had to do. I found out how much the price will decrease, and then I actually subtracted that from the price. Okay, so that's method 1 in solving this question. Let's go on to the next page here, and let me show you a different way we can solve this question. Okay, so I will go ahead and be clear on this. You do not have to do both ways. If you prefer one way over the other to answer this question, pick one, whichever one you feel the most comfortable with, okay? And once again, either way, as you'll see, you should get the same answer. So that's the thing. Just whichever way you feel more comfortable, you can do whichever way. I just wanted to give you multiple ways to look at these. So in case if you prefer one way over another, one way was easier for you than another, both of these work essentially the same way in terms of getting the same answer. Okay. So method 2, what we can do with method 2 is, since we have a discount, we can actually subtract percentages and then find the price. So what I mean by that is, what percent of the $35 will you pay? Okay, so what I mean by that is, well, we're getting 25% off. Okay, 25% off. Well, 25% of what? Well, 25% of the full price of $35. Okay, so the way that you can think about it is the full price is 100% of the price. The $35 is 100%. Well, we're getting 25% off of the full price, so we're getting 25% off, so we're taking off 25% from 100%. So the amount of the price you're actually going to pay is 100 minus 25, 100% minus 25%, which is 75%. Okay? What percent of the $35 will you pay? You'll pay 75% of the $35. Okay? Well, what we can then do is, well, what is 75% of 35? So that's the question we need to ask. What is 75% of 35? And once again, 35, let me be clear on that, $35. So we are dealing with money here. This whole section, we're dealing with money. Well, it's the same kind of thing. What is 75%? So the part is 75% of the whole of $35. So A is equal to P times W. We're looking for the part. So what part you're going to pay, which is 75%, so 0.75 of $35. And once again, if you need to double check yourself, 0.75 times 35, well, what do you think we're going to get? Well, we're actually going to get the answer we got in the previous question. 26.25, which since we're dealing with money is 26.25. When you do method 2, what you get out of the percent equation is the actual sale price. Okay, so the sale price. Okay, so from this we just get the answer. You're going to pay $26.25, which is the same thing we got by doing method 1. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring up when we do the taxes here in just a minute, I'm going to bring up a special case where we may want to do method 1 over method 2. But like I said, in terms of finding the sale price, either way we do it here, we get the same sale price, okay? So once again, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you're answering a question like this, whether you want to do it by method 1, which is the normal way that people probably learned how to do percentages in terms of discounts and taxes and everything. But then you also have this way, which, once again, if you can see this more clearly and you understand what I'm talking about here, I'm more than happy to let you use this way of figuring out the percentages, okay? But let's go ahead and go on to example 2, okay? Example 2 is a little bit different in that here we're asking a different type of question, okay? In this case, if you know how much of a percentage, so you know the percentage discount that you're going to get, and you know the actual sale price, well, then you can use those two pieces of information to find the original price of the shoes. Now, this one is a little bit harder, okay? And we'll definitely practice some of this on iExcel, and I'll definitely throw a couple of these on the practice and the homework as well. So make sure you know how to do these. But this one is a little bit harder to think through. So you got to really pay attention, really follow what I'm saying here, okay? So the question is simply, what is the original price of the shoes? And you got a picture of a shoe here, which, once again, shoes are sold in pairs. So there's probably another one over here. But they have a tag coming out of them that say, these shoes are 40% off. And now the price is $33. That means the sale price is $33. Okay? So what we have here is we know $33 is the price that you're going to pay after you get 40% off. That's what this means here. So 30 now, when it says now like this, that means after you take the 40% off, now the price is $33. So you're asked, what is the original price of the shoes? Okay? So here's where we have to kind of think about this a little bit. If we've got 40% off of the original price of the shoes, okay, that means you are paying 60% of the cost of the shoes, okay? So once again, 100% of the price of the shoes is the original price. Well, if you get 40% off, that means you are paying 60%. So this is how much you pay. 60% of the total cost, okay? Well, we know what the 60% of the total cost is. The price is now $33. So here's where it gets a little tricky. The question we want to answer with this is, we know $33 is the sale price. So that means we know $33 is 60% of what dollar amount or what number. We'll just say number here so we can see how it works exactly the same as questions we did in section 1. So this $33 that you're paying is 60% of the original price. Now, like I said, you're kind of going all over the place with this in terms of figuring out percentages, and then how do you know 33% is 60%? Well, once again, logically think about it. 100% is the original price. You're taking off 40%, so that means 60% of the price is what you're paying, which is the sale price. So 60% is 33. Okay. Well, 33 is 60% of what number? So this is a case where we know the part, when we know the percentage, we're looking for the whole price. We're looking for the whole amount, the whole price. We're looking for what this 100% is. Okay. Well, once again, our good old friend, the percent equation, comes in, and we just plug in what we know. We know the part of the price is 33. We know the percentage is 60, so 0.60 times the W. And just like in example, just like in section 1, I guess I should say, how we solve this, we're looking for the whole price. We're looking for W, so that means we got to divide both sides by 0.60. And once again, I don't imagine anybody can maybe do that in your head. Some of you, if you're clever enough, you might be able to. But in this case, if you need to, double check yourself. 33 divided by 0.60, well, you're going to get 55. Once again, we're dealing with money here, so the part and the whole, these are going to be dollars, so $55. Okay, so the original price of the sneakers is actually $55. And one thing you can actually do, and I'm going to not waste time, but I'm not going to spend any more time on this question other than to tell you that you can actually take your answer and check it, okay, by going and doing exactly what you did in example 1. If you know the shoes are $55 and you know you're getting 40% off, find the sale price. Take 40% off of $55 and see if you can get the 33, which is the price that they tell you is the sale price. And if you do that, and I'll go ahead and guarantee, if you take $55 and you take 40% off, 40% of 55, then subtract it, you will get 33. So basically, you saved $22 here. Okay. Once again, the discount you got was 40% off. 40% of 55 is 22. Okay, then you take 22 away from 55, that brings you back to the 33. So you can actually check yourself when you're trying to find the original price. Okay. So once again, be aware that if you do have trouble with this type of question, which this is the toughest type of question we have here, okay, if you do have trouble with this question, please let me know on Google Classroom, through email. If you're online, if you're in class, we'll work on this in class and we'll practice with this just to make sure everybody's got this down, okay? But let's go ahead and go to example 3. Now, this is technically the last example that they have in the book that we're going to cover, okay? So when I talk about example 4 and example 5, there's actually 2 more examples after this we're going to go over. Those are ones, and I'll make it clear when we do those examples, those are ones that are actually not in the book, because we're going to be talking about taxes in those situations, and the book actually, like I said, only talks about discounts and markups. But after we do this example, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if we know how to do a markup, you know how to do a tax, you know how to do a tip, okay? Because all of those work exactly the same way, meaning they are percent increases. So they are going to increase your price. But let's go ahead and look at example 3 here. So in this case, we're going to be finding a selling price, and then I put in parentheses there after markup. So in this case, when you see selling here, selling price, this is how much the store is going to sell the item for. So the selling price is how much the item is being sold for, okay? And once again, when we talk about a markup, this is something that is a common practice with stores. So you go to Walmart, Food City, any gas station, any, wherever you buy anything, okay, the store that you buy it from has to buy it from somewhere else. Well, they usually get a discount, or they usually get a cheaper price, and then what they do is they mark it up by a certain percent to sell it to people. Okay, that's the way a business makes money, which sounds kind of weird, but that's honestly the way it works. Okay, And you'll see in this example here. So a store, let's say Walmart, okay, if you can go buy a bicycle at Walmart. A store pays $70 for a bicycle, okay? So let's say Walmart buys a bicycle from the company that makes the bicycle for $70, okay? Well, Walmart then turns around and puts a percent markup on it. So it says the percent markup is 20%. Okay. So what that means is they're going to increase the price. So mark up. They're going to increase the price by 20%. And once again, that may sound like it's a bad deal, but that's the thing. That's how Walmart, that's how all these different stores make their money. Okay. If they bought the bike for $70 and they sold it for $70, they don't make any money there. They don't get any any incentive to buy and sell these items for you. Okay, so that's the thing. Even though it sounds like a weird thing, a markup is actually kind of a good thing because it allows the business to make money, and once again gives them incentive to provide you with these goods. So once again, if you want to buy a bicycle, they mark it up, but that's the thing. If they make the money on it, then they're more likely to get more bicycles or get more other of the items that you need. Okay, so once again, not getting too much into economics here, but the percent markup is 20%. So that means they're going to increase the price of the bike by 20%. So what is the selling price? So I put in parentheses here. This is the same thing as asking, how much does the store sell the bike for? Okay. So the store buys the bike for $70. Well, it makes sense that the store would sell the bike for more than $70. That's why it's a percent markup. Okay. Percent markup is, once again, an increase in the price. So this actually works the same exact way as we did in example 1, except for instead of a discount, we have a markup. So that means, okay, in this case that we do the same exact thing, but at the end, instead of subtracting, we add because we want to increase the price, okay? But it's the same steps here, meaning find how much the price will increase, okay? Well, how much is the price going to increase? Well, it's going to increase by 20% of 70. So if we answer this question, what is 70% of, oh wait, sorry. Let's rewind that. 20%. So I about made a mistake there. So be careful with that. It's always the percent of the original price or the whole price here. So what is 20% of $70? Okay. If we answer this question, this tells us how much the price will increase. Okay. So once again, we have A is equal to P times W. We plug in what we know. A is equal to percent is 0.20 times 70. And once again, I'm just going to leave the dollar sign off because when we plug into an equation, some people can, mess up or get mixed up and think the dollar sign's a number or something. So when we plug into the equation, I usually leave the dollar signs off. But here, 20% of 70, well, once again, if you need to double check yourself, 0.2 times 70, that's actually 14. Okay, which once again, $14, since we're dealing with money here. And this is actually how much the price will increase. And once again, we can just think about it logically. If we stop here, $14, am I going to pay $14 for the bicycle after the store paid $70 for it? Well, no. That would actually be a discount. That would be a very big discount, actually, if they sold the bike for $14. So just think of the number you got here and if it makes sense. In this case, well, it makes sense for maybe how much the price will increase. And that's exactly what it tells us, how much the price will increase. So to figure out how much we're going to buy the bike for or how much they're going to sell the bike for, you got to take the $70, so how much they paid for it, and then add to it the $14 we got over here. So they're going to sell the bike for $84. Okay? Which once again was a little bit of an increase from what they bought, but that's the thing. They have to make money. So in this case, when they sell you the bike for $84, they make $14 on the transaction, which once again gives them money to go buy more goods, which gives them incentive to stock and have things that you want in the store. Okay. So once again, it might seem like a bad thing that they increase the price, but it's really not if you really think about it. Like I said, not getting too much into the economics, but this is just how it works. The store buys something for cheap, or not cheap, but cheaper, and then they mark up by a certain percentage. And then once again, once you figure out how much that increases the price, then you just add it together, and then you have the price that they actually sell for. Okay. But once again, just like example 1, we've got method 1. Well, we could also do it by method 2, meaning we can add the percentages first, then find the price. So what that means is, what percent of the $70 will you pay? Okay. So once again, you're going to pay more than $70. So that means you're going to be paying more than 100% of the price that they paid. So here's what we can do. If we know 100% of the price, once again, the original price is $70. Well, you're going to pay 100% of the $70 plus another 20%. Okay, because once again, it's a markup. You're adding 20% of the $70. So that means you're going to actually end up paying 120% of the $70. Okay. So once again, if that doesn't make sense to you, you can ignore the rest of this and just use method 1. Okay. Like I said, I just want to give people options here on how to answer these questions. So in this case, we add the percentages, we get 120%. Well, then we can answer the question, what is 120% of $70? Okay, and if we answer this question, this will actually give us the price. So much like example 1, if we do method 2, what we get out of the percent equation here will actually be our price. And we already know the answer to that. So when we plug in 120%, be careful here, this is 1.20, because once again, we got to write our percentages as a decimal, times 70. And in class, I kind of made a thing. It's like, well, what do you think 1.20 times 70 is going to be? Well, if we go back and look at the previous question, it should be 84. Okay, and if you actually do that calculation, you will see that this is 84. And once again, we're talking about money, so it's $84. So this is actually the selling price. So if you do it by method 2, the answer you get out of the percent equation is actually going to be the price that you're looking for. So it's $84. Okay, either way, you do it method 1 or method 2. Okay. All right. So not to spend too much time on this. Once again, if you have problems with this, make sure you let me know. Okay. Like I said, the discounts, markups, tax questions, they all pretty much work the same. Okay. So if you get one of these down, chances are you can do the rest of them. It's just a matter of picking a method, which way works better for you, and then also knowing when to subtract and when to add, because that's the real big difference in these questions. Discounts you subtract, and then pretty much anything else you add. All right, markups, tips, taxes, okay, all those you increase, so you add the prices or you add the percentages, okay? So example 4, you can see here, example 4, this is an extra example, so this is not found in the book, okay? So you only got this in class or if you watch this video, all right? So I guess if you're watching this video, you're getting that information there, but if you don't, then I guess maybe I can make a note of that when I make the notes or something here, okay? But that's the thing. I just wanted to give you extra examples so that way you can really see how to do taxes, okay? Because once again, the book doesn't have it because honestly, they are probably assuming that if you do know how to do a markup, okay, if you do know how to do a markup, then you know how to do a tax because it works exactly the same way, okay? So let's see why that is. So finding out how much you pay after you apply a tax. So you buy a pair of jeans that are $40. The sales tax you have to pay is 6.5%. Okay. Once again, wherever you're buying these, it varies from location to location. Like I said, in Virginia, we technically have a 5.3% tax. Okay. Wherever you are, this percent tax is 6.5%. So how much do the jeans cost you after tax? And out of all the questions we've done, this is probably the one that's most relevant to you, in that when you go and buy anything, pairs of jeans, candy bars, bikes, shorts, shoes, whatever you buy in a store, once again, depending on where you are, there will be a tax that you have to pay. Okay. And in this case, they tell you that it's a 6.5% tax. So what this is going to do is it's going to increase our price, or increase how much we have to pay, by 6.5%. So same kind of thing here, just like a markup. Find how much the cost will increase, then add. Okay. So we do this the exact same way we would do a markup. We know $40 is going to be increased by 6.5%. So we need to know what is 6.5% of $40. Okay, so once again, when we answer this question, this is going to tell us how much the cost will increase. So how much we need to add to the original price. Okay, once again, our good old trusty friend, the percent equation comes in. So the part is what we're looking for, 0.065. So be careful here, 6.5%. Make sure you change that into a decimal correctly. Move it over 2 places, 0.065 times, and once again, leaving off the $sign, 40. Well, once again, this is not something I imagine anybody can really do in their head, but if you can, that's great. Or if you want to actually go work it out, but double check yourself. If you plug in 0.065 times 40 in the calculator, you're going to end up with, so let me make sure I get the right number here, because that's something I can't even do in my head. Okay. You end up with 2.6. But we got to be really smart about this, okay? You get 2.6, but since we're dealing with money, this means it's $2.60. Okay? So $2.60, because you had a 0 at the end. Okay? But this is telling you how much extra, or how much the tax is. So let me write it like that, because I want to make a point after we get done with this question. How much the tax increases the cost. Okay, so what we have to do with this 260, once again, does it make sense? If I'm buying a pair of jeans that are $40, does it make sense I'm going to only pay $2.60 for them? Well, no. The tax is added on. So what you have to do is you have to do $40 plus the $2.60, which gives us $42.60. Okay? So once again, just like a markup, you find out how much the price is going to increase, and then you add it to the original price. Okay? So once again, you're going to pay $42.60 for a pair of jeans that, once again, the original price is $40, because you have to pay 6.5% tax. Now, this is where I want to make a little point, and I'll make a point here, and I'll make a point when we do example 2. What if this question simply said, how much is the tax you have to pay on the jeans? Well, we wouldn't have to actually add it at that point, because then we could just look right here. This is how much tax is being added on. So if they ask you what's the tax that you have to pay, well, it would be the $2.60. That's what's being added on to the price. This is the price, this is the tax. If you add those together, that's how much you have to pay in total. Okay? So be careful and read the questions and make sure. Is it asking for tax? Is it asking for the total price? Is it asking for just the discount? What's the question asking? Okay? And based on what the question's asking, the number might change. Once again, if this was asking for just the tax, that would be asking for the $2.60, okay? So be careful and really pay attention to what the question's asking. But if we look at example 2, same kind of thing here. We can add the percentages, then multiply, because once again, you're going to be paying $40 for the jeans. So that's 100% of the cost of the jeans. You're going to be paying $40 plus an extra 6.5% in tax. So what percentage of the $40 are you going to pay? Well, you're going to pay the 100%, so $40 plus the 6.5%. So you're going to pay 106.5% for the jeans. Okay. Well, 106.5% of what? Well, 106.5% of the original price. So basically, if we answer the question, what is 106.5% of the original price is $40. So if we answer this, we have the price, how much we have to pay. So once again, A is equal to P times W, the part, which is what we're looking for, times 1.065. So be careful there. 1.065. Make sure you change your decimal to a percentage correct, or a percentage to a decimal correctly, times 40. So when we do that, if you plug that in, well, if you paid attention in the last question, you should know what this is. Well, it's the same as what we got here. So if you do 1.065 times 40, you should get $42 or 42.6, which once again, since we're dealing with money, this is $42.60, which once again tells us the final cost. Okay, so the answer here is $42.60. But if you do the question this way, well, what if it's just asking for the tax? Well, how do you figure out how much tax you paid here? Well, it's where you got to take a little extra step further. You would have to take the final price and subtract the original price, and then the increase or what's left over, that's how much extra you had to pay. So that would be the tax. So here it's really easy. Going from 40 to 42.60, well, that would be 2.60. So $2.60 is the tax. Okay. So just be careful on that and make sure you pay attention to the question and what's being asked. Okay. Now, the last example that I want to do, and I'm going to try to go through this pretty quickly because I know this video is kind of going on here. Okay. But this is a very important example because, once again, this is not in the book, but this is an example of a question where you have a discount and a tax, and what to do when you have both a discount and a tax, or a discount and a tip, or discount, a markup and a discount, okay? But more importantly, discount and a tax, because this is the one that's going to be most common that you'll see. Because even if you buy something with a discount, you still have to pay a tax on it, okay? So even if you buy it at a discount, you have to pay a tax on it. So this is going to show you how to calculate the price when you have both a discount and a tax, okay? So you buy a bicycle helmet priced at $30. So $30 is the original price. There is a sale on bicycle helmets for 30% off. So this is a discount. Once again, if it says 30% off, that tells you you're getting 30% of the $30 off your price, okay? The store has a sales tax of 6%. How much do you pay for the helmet? Okay, so I want to be very clear here. If you have both a discount and a tax, you must calculate. So do the discount first. Okay, and once you do the discount, then you calculate the tax. And you'll see what I mean when we go through it here, but you got to do the discount first. You take the discount off first, every time, okay? Because once again, you're not going to be paying the $30. You're going to be paying 30% less, okay? You're going to be paying 30% off of 30. And then once again, the tax is actually going to become relevant from the discounted price. So you're going to have to use the discounted price to calculate the tax, okay? So first, let's calculate the discount? Well, let's do in method 1. What is 30% of $30? Oh, that is not a 0. Let me fix that. $30. Once again, when we answer this question, this is going to get us, so A is equal to P times W. We get the part is equal to 0.30 times 30, so 30, okay? Once again, double check yourself. Very clever with this. 0.30 times 30, okay, so 0.30 times 30, that's actually just going to give us 9. But once again, this is how much the price will decrease because this is the discount, okay? Once again, I'm not paying $9 for the bicycle helmet. That's not 30% off. That's how much is being taken off the price. So what we have to do is we have to take $30 and subtract $9. So our discounted price is actually $21. But we're not done yet. That's the discounted price. So we have to take our discounted price and we have to use it to calculate the tax. So in this case, we need to add 6%. Well, 6% of what? Well, we're going to have to add 6% of the 21. So here we need to answer the question, what is 6%? 6% of, well, in this case, the $21, because that's how much you're actually going to pay for the bicycle helmet, okay? So $21, well, same kind of thing here. A is equal to P times W. A is equal to 0.06 times 21. Well, what's 0.06 times 21? A little tricky here, okay, so you got to be careful. Just make sure that you get your percentage right in there, 0.06, okay? But when you calculate that, you get that that is 1.26, okay? Which once again, since we're dealing with money, this is $1.26. But once again, it doesn't make sense for that we're going to pay $1.26 for the bicycle helmet. We're going to pay $1.26 plus the 21. So since this is the tax, we got to take the $21 and add to it the $1.26. So actually how much we're going to pay is going to be $22.26. Okay? So in this case, we have to take our discount first, find the price, so the sale price or the discounted price, and then we use the discounted price to calculate the tax. And every single question where you have both discount and tax, you have to do the discount first, then the tax. Okay? So the correct answer here is $22.26. Now, just like before, and I'll go through this one a little bit quicker this time because I'm going to do it as method 2. Okay? Same kind of thing. We got to do discount first. Well, how do we calculate the discount using method 2? Well, we're going to take 100% of the price, which is the $30, and we're going to take away 30%. Okay? Well, how much of a percent does that leave you? That leaves you 70% of the price that you have to pay. So what is 70% of $30? Once again, when we answer this question, this will give us our sale price. So A is equal to P times W. A is equal to 0.70 times 30. Well, that tells us we're going to pay, all right, well, from before, you should probably know this, but 0.7 times 30, you could probably guess that's going to be 21. Once again, dealing with money, it says $21. Well, this is the discount price, so we have to take the discount price and use it when we do the tax. Okay, so once again, we take 100% of the thing in this case. Well, now 100% is going to be the $21. So we're going to take 100% of the $21. We're going to pay that plus another 6% in tax. So we're going to pay 100%, 106% of the $21. So the question we need to answer is, what is 106% of $21? Once again, be very careful here. Notice when I calculate the discount, I use the $30. When I calculate the tax, I use the new amount that I got after I took the discount. Okay? So once again, just be careful of that. But once you plug that in, A is equal to P times W. A is equal to 1.06 times 21. And once again, if you've been paying attention and can follow along here, what do you think 1.06 times 21 is? Well, it's the 22.26. So in this case, that's going to be 22.26, which once again, we're dealing with money. That is dollars. So that's the actual price. So this is the discount price. And this is the final cost. So once again, we get 22.26. Okay. So just be on the lookout for the practice and homework assignments. I'll suggest these skills to you on IXL. So I'll actually put a little practice IXL assignment like I did last time. So be on the lookout for that. Do practice on IXL, okay, before you try to do the practice and the homework, just to make sure you know what you're doing with these questions, okay. Maximize your grade on the practice and the graded practice and homework, okay. But other than that, go through and practice these questions. If you have any problems with this whatsoever, let me know, and I'll be looking to see how people are doing when they turn in their practice and homeworks and stuff. And what we might have to do is next week, we might go over it again, okay, just to make sure everybody's okay with it. But other than that, just once again, try the homework and the practice. If you have any questions, let me know. But other than that, thank you for watching.